What is going on, Nemesis Gaming League? Welcome back to the action as we're at the final match of the night, Motion versus Earthquake, the battle of the ninth and 10th seed in Challenger. Tonight, I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Psycho. Psycho, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing pretty good, and I am psyched to see how this match will unfold tonight.
Yeah, myself included in that. Taking it to the Challenger League. This is a little bit of a division and a conference rivalry here. Both of these teams in the Western Conference and both also in the Pacific Division. Motion and Earthquake. On top of that, they also had the exact same season record, 9-9. So ninth and 10th seed. They're looking to one of them's looking to go home today, and one of them's looking to move into the lower bracket final.
Absolutely. Trying to advance in this play in bracket. And you did say both teams were 9 and 9 in the hard divisional race there up in the Pacific Division. Believe it or not, Motion got the better of Earthquake not once but twice. Motion beat Earthquake 3-1 the first time around. And the second time around, Motion got a 3-2 against Earthquake. So that's something we got to look out for tonight, Psycho, to see if Motion can take it the best of three. Well, excuse me, the best of five in their matches against Earthquake tonight, or if Earthquake can eliminate Motion for playoff contention and get the revenge from the regular season.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm interested to see what happens here. A lot on the line for both of these teams. Neither team's having an outstanding season. No players from either team got any player of the weeks. So, nothing crazy happened for either of these teams yet. They still did hold on good enough to get the final seeds in the play-in tournament. And everybody knows you only need your foot in the door to make a run. And I mean, to be honest, to make a run from 10th seed playing tournament all the way up into playoffs and then all the way to grand finals. I mean, anybody that can achieve that is legendary status in my book.
Absolutely, legendary status. These two teams have the hardest climb of anybody else here in the playoffs. Even if you're the seventh and eighth seed, yeah, you're in the play-ins, but you got a little bit of wiggling room, as we seen on Monday. Even if you lose, still got a chance. But for these two teams, it's do or die, and that might come into tension here as maybe the mindset of how you play, or maybe just chilling.
Maybe, and hopefully, bear with us, folks. We got some news that one of Motion's players is running into some issues, and they're running a little bit late. We're holding on, hoping that they're able to get back in time before a forfeit has to be forced. Maybe Earthquake be willing to add a little extra time. We'll have to see, but. How about those games earlier? I mean, Wells versus Pons. I didn't go to a game five, but that turned out to be a lot. Or those games earlier. How about that game earlier? Because since the other one was a forfeit. But the Wells versus Pons, pretty good, pretty close.
Overall, it was pretty close. Yeah, the pawn squeaked out at the end with a 3-1. But overall, Pawns were just taking handle of the Whelps and just their miscues. And I know they triple committed a couple times, and it did cost them and some costly touches. That's to be seen though in the novice league. You know, it's diamond to low champ, so everybody's still learning. Nobody's perfect, but overall, it was a banger. And you guys on stream, make sure you go check out the VOD after this series here to go see how that matchup ended up in full. But
So
yeah,
so let me ask you, Dan. Since we're got a little time to kill here, waiting on Motion, and we're in the Challenger League, and I was looking at the overall standings here and noticed that anybody that doesn't know, you're the GM of the is it what's the name of the organization? Blizzard or Snow? It's not Snowstorm.
Sub Zero.
Sub-Zero. Okay, so you're the GM Sub-Zero. My apologies. But in the Challenger League, your team Snowstorm is third overall, tied with Flame and Bishops, at least in the record, 12-6. So how you feel about that?
I'm actually very excited to see my guys actually go out in the playoffs. A little bit in the middle of the season, they actually called upon me to sub in and help them out. And I mean, yeah, you could say I helped out a little bit, but them as a team, they're solid overall. They beat Ascension. Unfortunately, they lost against Flame, but if they would have gotten one more win, that would have put them as the first seed and maybe possibly change up the whole bracket here, Psycho. But I do have confidence in my Snowstorm team getting it through the playoffs here as the fifth seed.
Yeah, I think that they got a pretty good run. They seem to have had a pretty good season. To be honest, like I like to congratulate you because it seems like, at least according to the power rankings team, that your organization in general has done the best this season. Would you agree?
Yeah, don't want to toot my own horn a little bit, but yes, the only team that has not made a top six seed was actually my whiteout team. But I am very impressed with all my teams in my organization this season, especially as an expansion org. And they all fought hard and they all played hard, and I just want to congratulate all of them. It's mostly them, not me.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Shout out to all your players for sure. But man, I gotta say hats off. I don't know if it's luck or if you just if you got what it takes to be a good GM. This being your first season here with Nemesis, at least doing the GM thing, having such a good turnout. That's definitely got to be a good experience for you.
Yeah, I was looking as soon as I got the call saying, "Hey, Dan, you're going to be the GM of the Sub Zero org." I was ready for it. I was already diving into draft picks, seeing what I can do and how can I affect the season. And just throughout the season, just gonna build. And fortunate for me, I had a team behind me with a couple AGMs, and we figured out what to do. So it's not just me helping out my own org, but it's definitely an interesting sight to see, especially as a new GM, new org coming in, being the top dogs, at least in power rankings, for the last 2 weeks of the season, and all my teams qualifying for playoffs, as I'm one of two orgs that actually have had all their teams qualify.
Very nice, very nice. But to get back on track a little bit here, uh-oh, I'm starting to see some people join up
Ooh.
here. It looks like we got motion in the lobby. Finally, we're going to be able to get into this action, and with that, I will step back and allow you to take the reins, Dan.
I'm actually going to ask you a quick question, Psycho. What can you give me a serious prediction?
I um I think I'm going to give it to motion here. I think I'm going to give it to motion in 4. I think they're going to be able to I think Earthquake has got what it takes and they want it bad enough to be able to take a game off, but I've seen God Gamer in action and I know he can shut it down.
Well, let's see if they do indeed put it into motion as we get underway in game one here. As we got early pressure here for motion. So's tries to get a pinch off the corner, puts it right in front of the net. Earthquake, a little bit awkward. Davi is able to send it away though. But God Gamer's there, reading the defense and able to get that nice shot.
Just as I said, I was expecting him to pop off, and he does, coming in from the midfield and catching Earthquake's defense completely out of position there, not able to make the stop.
Man, it's crazy to think already trying to set the pace here early in the series. One up in the first 30 seconds. Trying to do something here. But as we got Michael able to get a touchdown, Davi is unable to get a 50 off of it. Craig trying to keep the pressure going, but God Gamer's able to clear it away into the Earthquake territory. Frizz pops it up for Davi. Davi sends it to the motion corner. 50 comes out, the ball's in the midfield, and Craig's going to have to jump for it. Doesn't get the touch that he's looking for, but a water fountain comes down in front of the Earthquake net. God Gamer was there, but he was unable to get a touch. And we're already a minute down here, Psycho, in the first game. And we're seeing some very good offensive pressure here for Motion.
Yeah, and I'd like to add that it also seems, from what I'm seeing, motion seems to be a little bit more coordinated in everything. Oh my
Ooh.
goodness, Earthquake almost absolutely shutting my mouth right there. But I think that motion in rotations and just ability to keep control of the ball are just they got a little bit of the edge over Earthquake right now.
Yeah, we will see if it was just some stream jitters as God Gamer sends another one in the Earthquake net. and puts him up by 2.
And Michael being able to control that, or not really control, but get the 50 off of Seuss there, or excuse me, not Seuss, but Frizz, and it bounced out to the mid. God Gamer was there, he's ready, and he's deadly.
Yeah, you can say Earthquake is a little bit shaken up right now, as they've already dropped 2 goals, but there's still plenty of time to go here in Game 1. As we go underway, as Craig tries to get it past the defender, but is unable to. Davi then jump up for it, trying to get it past the Frizz. Frizz is unable to follow it up, but Suze tries to get a touch on net, but a little bit awkward for him and unable to put it on net. As we see Earthquake trying to mount some kind of offensive pressure here, but God Gamer is on a one-on-one right here to the open net, passes it up to Suze. Suze there to get the shot and put him up by 3.
It's, same play, different faces here. God Gamer leaving the ball and going in for the bump. I couldn't see if he got anything, but Seuss was able to take advantage of Earthquake being in a panic right there. And yeah, I mean, 3 goals. You can't argue with it.
Can't argue with it, as Earthquake needs to find the answer sooner rather than later, trying to set the pace, as we see a nice shot come out there by Craig, but God Gamer able to get the read and get the nice save. Earthquake on the offensive pressure, the ball right in front of Motion's net, but he gets blocked away. Frizz tries to fake out the defender, but is unable to, as Motion trying to get it out of their territory, but Craig sends it back to the backboard. Craig trying to get a 50 over Michael. Michael's able to tap it away. Frizz gets a little bit of an awkward touch, but it's able to pass his teammate Frizz. And we're 2 minutes to go here, Psycho. And we're seeing Earthquake here trying to answer back.
Yeah, and Earthquake honestly doing a pretty good job in this last 30 to 60 seconds. They were keeping some pretty good sustained offensive pressure on Motion there and really starting to test Motion's defense for the first time. Unfortunately, Craig playing some defense of his own, but it didn't take long for Motion to get back where they were earlier in the game.
Yeah, so we need to see an answer here from Earthquake as we get an Earthquake offensive pressure here. As Frizz trying to get a touchdown to his teammate Davi. Davi's unable to do anything with it. And the ball still on the Motion side. Frizz tries to put a shot on net, but passes right to Soz. Davi unable to get a touch, and Soz gets a cross-map sniper shot and starting to run away with this Game 1.
That was an unfortunate miss there that came out from Davi, just not able to get up to it. Unfortunately, Craig, seeing at the last second, he had to make the save, almost able to get back to it, but not that it really matters at this point, Dan, because Motions had pretty much already ran away with this. Earthquake's already looking like they need to sort of get their mindset ready for Game 2.
Absolutely. Motion just needs to play their own game here for the next minute. Don't give them any momentum going into Game 2, but if you're Earthquake here, you gotta just try to stop the momentum, stop the bleeding, get a goal, get some kind of momentum going into this Game 2, because getting shut out in the first game is never a good sign for the rest of the series. But as we get back underway, Michael trying to get up for the double tap. He's unable to read it, but that was close. Craig unable to get back to the ball. God Gamer's there to send it back to Earthquake territory. Passes it to Seuss. Seuss up. Frizz with the nice save. Passes it back to his backboard with Craig trying to send it away as we're down to the last 30 seconds. Frizz trying to clear the ball, but Motion still keeping the offensive pressure, not letting Earthquake breathe here. God Gamer up. He almost got a nice shot, but he was unable to read the pre-flip there. 15 seconds to go. God Gamer's there. Still suffocating Earthquake in their own end. Michael with the nice touch. God Gamer's there trying to read his pass. He was unable to. Soz tries to just tap it away from Earthquake as the ball is about to touch the ground, as Motion puts things in motion as they take Game 1.
Really good performance from Motion. Honestly, even though it was a blowout 4-0, Earthquake really started to pull their game together in the second half of that game. They really started to find their groove. They started rotating a lot better. They started having that sustained offensive pressure. And I think that if they're able to carry that vibe over into Game 2, that we might see a very different situation from them.
Absolutely, and we gonna take a look at the shots here. Motion got 11 shots off, and Earthquake coming up with 8. Earthquake, 8 shots on the Motion's 5 saves. So there is still room there to capitalize on some shots, but overall Motion just able to capitalize on Earthquake's mistakes. And they're going to try to see if they can continue on here in this game too. Now, Psycho, if you're Motion, how do you keep this lead?
Basically, I just keep playing the same game that they were playing. Honestly, they were doing a really good job straight out of the gate. They had good rotations offensively and defensively, and I think that as long as they don't get in their head about any sort of changes that Earthquake tries to make, they should have a game 2 in the bag.
Yeah, as we get into game 2 here, Earthquake with some early offensive pressure. We see a double commit come out as Craig tries to get a demo, and nothing comes to it as Frizz tries to send it to Motion's territory. Soz is there with the save, and Earthquake keeping the pressure up once again. Davi sends it away. Davi trying to get a touch off Michael. Michael gets a little bit of a light touch there as Michael following up the ball. Open net for Earthquake, and Michael able to capitalize on Earthquake's mistakes and already takes a goal in game 2.
And yeah, nobody from Earthquake rotating back. Frizz pushed up just a little bit too far, tried to half flip and boost to get back out in front of the ball, but unfortunately it was too late. Michael securing the first goal for Motion.
Woo! Whew, that was a close shot there, Psycho. But Earthquake needs to get a goal here in the series as we're 6 minutes in the series already. Granted, there's still plenty of time. They have still not scored a goal. So we will see if Earthquake can change that. As Motion back on the offensive pressure here as the ball bypasses the midfield. Godgamer on the ceiling. He gets a touch, trying to get a double touch. He does get a double touch, but Craig is able to block it away. As Craig also sends it away for Earthquake. But Motion, Psycho, just seems like for the most part trying to suffocate Earthquake in their own end and maybe even boost starving them.
Yeah, and I think that's the game that they were mostly playing during game 1 as well. Though whenever Earthquake was able to take control, they did have to show us how good they are at defense as well. But mostly we see that these guys are pretty aggressive offensively, and that seems to be the strat that they take, is just to suffocate as the defense as much as they can and play off of the mistakes.
As we see an opportunity come out from Motion, but they're unable to capitalize on the play. Michael trying to send it away, passes at the Godgamer. Godgamer back to Michael, goes to the Earthquake corner. Michael trying to center it for Godgamer. Godgamer's there and he scores it off his Frizz, and now they're up by 2.
And I said it in the beginning, and I'll say it again. Godgamer is going to do it to you every time. If you let him get in front of that ball, in front of your net, he just put it through 2 of Earthquake's defenders right there. That boy don't care. He don't need milk.
He doesn't need milk. As we see Earthquake trying to get their first goal of the series, and Frizz able to get their first goal for Earthquake in the series and starting to shake things up.
Davi was just robbed. Oh, you're fine. Davi was just robbed right there from the top crossbar, hitting that, and it went down. Luckily for him, Frizz had enough of a sound mind to get in there and clean it up.
Yeah, and as we see Davi trying to get his own goal of his own, but Godgamer's there to save it. As we see the ball heading towards Earthquake zone, we get a 2-on-1 as Craig able to get the save. Trying to pass it up to Frizz. Frizz unable to get it. Davi tries to send it to Motion's backboard. Oh, we get it clear away. As the ball right in front of Motion's backboard here. Oh my goodness, I thought it was going to bounce straight down, but Earthquake keeping the pressure going here once again. Godgamer gets 50'd by Davi. The ball is still in Motion's territory. Frizz trying to read it, but Michael sends it away in front of his own net, unfortunately, but Soz is there to get the nice save. As we see Earthquake switching the momentum here and trying to suffocate Motion in their own zone, Psycho.
Yeah, Earthquake finally getting control of the ball here, having a couple of pretty good attempts. Another one right here, maybe Frizz. No, he gets bumped out. But they're definitely playing a much faster game, a much more aggressive game. They're only down by 1, so you know they're in good standings to bring this one back and take game 2 possibly.
Yeah, they're still in contention here for game 2 with a minute 20 to go. Michael tries to put it on net, but is unable to as the ball gets blocked away. Motion trying to get some breathing room here and trying to suffocate Earthquake as they're back in the offensive zone. Craig is there to get the save off God Gamer. And Michael tries to read it off. Michael is able to get the touch and sends it top left bin. What a read by Michael, and puts the goal differential here at 2.
Yeah, Michael finding it off the sidewall there, coming in screaming and completely catching Earthquake's defense out of pocket on that one. Nobody back in goal to even attempt to make a save.
Yeah, Motion trying to run away with this game 2 and possibly the series, but the game is not done yet as Earthquake still have some breathing room and have to do a little bit more aggressiveness here as there's only 55 seconds left to go. Earthquake trying to get something going. Davi sends it to the Motion backboard. Unable to get the double touch is Davi. Craig trying to put it on net. He just barely misses as God Gamer is there to send it away. God Gamer gets bumped away. What a play there by the defender. He saves a goal and puts Earthquake on his back here for defense as Davi gets a 50. Oh my god, we see a double commit there by Earthquake, and it unfortunately bumps each other, and that could screw themselves over here in the goal as we're down to the last 22 seconds here. Davi trying to get something going here for Earthquake as they're down to the last 15 seconds. Now or never. Frizz pops it up for his teammate. God Gamer and Craig both missed. 10 seconds left. Davi trying to get something on the backboard. Sue's able to send away. And it's looking like Psycho Motion going to be 2-0 in the series.
It is looking that way. There you have it. It's an unfortunate circumstance for Earthquake, but it just seems like it was the same sort of song and dance for them. They played really well, but every time they got a good drive or they got the ball in the right position, they just dropped the opportunity for one reason or another. You know, we saw the double kick commit come out there at the end, and then, you know, obviously Motion's defense, but they had a couple of opportunities that they dropped that this could have been a tie ball game going into OT.
Absolutely. The little bit of a miscue there is not in their favor as now they're looking at a sweep here. But if you're Earthquake, it's do or die, man. You're one game away from going home for the rest of the season. So pull out anything you have in the bag. But you got to take it game by game. As in order for you guys to win and move on here in the playoffs, you have to get a reverse sweep. But it all starts with one game as we head here to game 3 here, Psycho. Earthquake needs to do something.
Yeah, and Earthquake is the underdog in this 10th seed, coming in the 10th seed, so they're not anticipated to win. But I think that they've got what it takes, Dan, to pull this together. I think that they could pull off the reverse sweep here. I think it's possible.
It is always possible as we get here to game 3. Motion back on the early offensive pressure. Sue's trying to center it for his teammate. The ball still in front of Earthquake's net, but Davi able to send it away. God Gamer gets a little bit of an awkward touch there, but he's able to as Sue's gets a touchdown, but unfortunately Craig is there to get the ball. Frizz up trying to center it. Davi not unable to get the ball here. Craig sending it to the Motion net. Suze is there for the save. Passing it up to Michael. Michael gets a nice touch there off the wall, but Frizz is there to make the save. Frizz able to send it down, risks his life for it. And Michael trying to pound it away, give him his defense some time to recalibrate here. And it does happen as Suze palms it down. Suze up again, passing it to God Gamer on the backboard. And just a little bit too high. Motion, nobody's back. He's going to have to pass it. Craig flicks it towards net. And Craig, I can't even talk, Psycho. Craig there with a nice flick and able to capitalize on the open net.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. You know, Earthquake not done yet. Unfortunately, Craig has been with the league for a little while. I'm sure many of our viewers know him. I know him. He's popped off before. He's shown what he's made of. We've seen the glimpses of greatness throughout this series that Earthquakes is, you know, capable of doing. So we might see that starting right here, right now.
Yeah, there is a glimmer of hope still for Earthquake. As we get back to the action, Craig trying to get a double here off the wall. Gets it right in front of Motion's net. None of his teammates are there, though, to capitalize on the pass. Michael sends it towards the midfield, but Davi is able to send it back into Motion's territory. Davi trying to get a bump out, makes Sue's jump. Maybe puts the defense a little bit awkward here as he goes for another bump. Craig keeping the pressure here. Frizz up for the shot, but Michael's able to 50 it away. Sue's getting the clear off as Davi sends it back into Motion's territory. We see a one-on-one. Davi able to put it on net, but Michael was able to get the save. So Psycho, if you're Motion, how do you tie it up?
Honestly, if I'm Motion, I don't want to tie it up. I want them to win. I want them to take us into a game 4 for the content, just to get there. But I mean, we already know what Motion really needs to do. Motion's not playing the game that they've been playing so far. They're playing a little bit slower. They're being less aggressive. They're letting Earthquake set things up now.
Yeah, but maybe it's all part of the script. Maybe they read the script and said, hey, we gotta let them win a game or two, or maybe even take it to a game 5. But we will find out as Earthquake starting to suffocate Motion a little bit here. Frizz trying to pop it up. Suze is there for the backward read. And we see Craig putting it on net. Craig able to get the top left bin and able to capitalize as he gets another one for Earthquake.
And I'm not convinced by what I'm seeing from Motion here that they're not purposefully dropping this. You know, Michael, yeah, he was a little bit awkward right there, but he could have possibly got it if he would have just double jumped. So I'm not sure if they're just sort of, you know, taking it easy or if they're just having a bad game. You know, sometimes you have bad games that your rotations are all off, the comms aren't there, and that could be what's happening to Motion.
It could be happening, but Earthquake taking advantage of it as we see double commit come out of here. Motion, Davi needs to try to send it down as Motion able to get back in time. Suze trying to give his defense a little bit of time. Davi in the midfield trying to get it past Michael. He does. Davi gets it past another one. Right to Craig. Craig on the backboard of Motion. Frizz is up, but unable to as Michael's there. Michael booms it down the God Gamer, and we see Craig there back in time for the save. And Psycho, I only see 3 shots coming out for Motion here, so we're gonna have to see something now or never, or they're gonna have to drop this game 3.
Yeah, they're definitely playing a lot slower. Michael trying to get one going, and Michael earlier sending that one up to God Gamer. God Gamer almost able to find that golden touch and get the redirect into the goal. Unfortunately, he dropped it there. And like you said, it's looking not good for Motion so far, but you know, oh my, God Gamer bullying that ball in.
I do believe I see a triple commit here on the defense for Earthquake, and it put Davi there in an awkward spot, unable to get it in time. He actually doesn't get the touch as he could have, but God Gamer cuts the score in half with 57 seconds to go. Motion trying to cling on to some life here, looking for the sweep. So we see Michael up once again. Craig's there to get a touch. Craig unable to get a touch there in the corner as Frizz gets to 50 and down to Davi. God Gamer tries to center it to the midfield. None of his teammates are there. Frizz sending it down to Michael. Michael's able to get a touch. Michael is on a one-on-one scenario here. Michael trying to dribble out the defender. He passes it to Suze, but Davi, I think he gets bumped into the save there. And Earthquake trying to stay alive here, playing keep away. They don't necessarily need a goal here, Psycho, but they're trying to play keep away and try to secure this game 3.
Yeah, Michael trying to tie it up right there. Motion starting to turn it on here in the last 10 seconds. So, I mean, it's going to be close.
As we see a whiff coming out of the Golf Gamer here as Michael trying to keep the ball up here, but is unable to as Earthquake takes game 3 and is one step closer to that vigorous reverse sweep.
Yeah, and that's the first one that they need in the stair set, if you will. The first step they need to take in the reverse sweep. And you know, like I said, we seen unfortunately Craig pop off right there. If he can keep that momentum going, not that Frizz and Davi didn't help. Frizz had 3 saves himself, but if Craig can keep that momentum going for himself, I know he can lead this team in a reverse sweep.
It's ironic because Motion is from the Momentum org, but now it looks like the momentum could have shifted as Earthquake takes game 3 and looking to try to get that reverse sweep, but Motion, they had one more shot, Psycho, than Earthquake that game, so that goes to show you accuracy does play into effect eventually.
It definitely does, and Motion was just suffocated in their own half through a majority of that game as well, which is the first time we've seen Earthquake be able to do that to them during this series. So I think if Earthquake might have stumbled onto the piece of the puzzle they were missing.
Yeah, as we get into action here in Game 4 on Forbidden Temple, the crazy map here in Nemesis, as we see the ball going towards the midfield here. Craig able to read it down to Suze. Suze is able to get the save. And we see a couple demos come out. Suze trying to pass it to Michael, but Craig's there to block it. We see a one-on-one here. Craig and Gamer. Craig unable to get the flick on net. As we see God Gamer getting the pass up to Michael. Michael was unable to get a touch, but Suze is there. We see a 2-on-1 scenario. Again, one-on-one. God Gamer and Davi. Davi is able to pass it to Craig, and Craig, the all-star man for Earthquake in Game 3, puts one on the board in Game 4.
And Earthquake's got that reverse sweep vibe right now. They got that reverse sweep type beat going on in the background. They're feeling themselves as they get their first goal here and the early lead.
Absolutely, and talking about leads no more, as we see a nice shot coming out of Michael, getting an early answer here in Game 4.
And Zeus with that nice soft touch right there, able to set it up for Michael to set himself up with a top 90 backboard double tap.
That was a nice shot. As we get back to the action, Suze sends it down, unable to get another touch, but Frizz trying to send it away to Davi. As Davi gets a nice 50. Michael's last one back. Michael was able to get a touch, but Craig trying to get something going here for Earthquake once again. You got Frizz. Hits it up to the ceiling. Davi. It's a little bit of a slight touch there. It kind of works as Craig trying to put it down, and Michael gets the nice dunk, possibly saving a goal there. Frizz. We see a 1-on-2. Frizz trying to get a touch, unable to get a touch, and Michael gets the backflip touch, and it actually sends it all the way to midfield. We see Earthquake a double commit here. Michael able to send it to midfield. Frizz is there to get the nice save. Davi looking for a teammate to pass it to, passing it to Frizz. Frizz trying to take it upfield. He passes one to beat. Davi unable to get the demo on God Gamer, and I don't know, Psycho. We were trying to see some demo play starting to come out now.
Yeah, well, Motion is in quite the position right now, as Zeus is either having some sort of technical issue or I don't know what's going on. His ping seems to be fine, but he hasn't moved for about a minute. So Motion's been having to play a 2v3 game here, and I mean, I don't know. They seem to be holding their own here.
Yeah, it's good on Motion's end for just trying to hold out to see if their teammate can come back to the action. But if you're Earthquake, you got to stomp on this now or never. Take advantage of it. Try to get a goal or two up and try to get yourselves back even more into the series because of the reverse sweep. But hey, maybe a demo might work because it'll lead you to a 3-on-1. But as we see a bump come out from Davi, Michael able to get back in time, and Earthquake trying to suffocate, but Motion able to put it away. You see the ball right in front of Michael. Michael gets the flick over all three. We see a triple commit come out. We see Craig able to get a touch as Frizz trying to dribble it down the field. Michael was able to get back in time. And we see Michael trying to start some kind of offensive pressure on the 2-on-3, but Craig is able to 50 it away. And we still see Suze there not moving a muscle, and Earthquake unable to do anything as Michael sends it on net here, Psycho, but Earthquake needs to capitalize now.
Yeah, and Motion has taken the momentum back from Earthquake. At least they did there for a minute as they were 2v3. Zeus back in motion, so they're back to 3v3, and if Motion keeps playing the way they were, Zeus just gonna come back from nowhere and get the goal just like that.
Well, looks like Motion didn't really need him until now. Motion able to hold off the 2-on-3. What a remarkable defense, and Earthquake unable to capitalize as they drop a goal now. Oh my goodness, Psycho, what a turn of events just happened.
And what a mind game for Earthquake. What the devil? Unfortunately, Craig gonna come out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on. Did he die again? He was just sitting in net. I think Zeus died again. Yeah. Zeus died again.
He might have died again, but you never know. That might be tactical. Might be all part of the script here, Psycho. Tactical AFK in a playoff match. I don't think we see it quite often, but hey, it happens sometimes. Davi able to try to dribble it. Davi gets it over one, trying to get a nice little air dribble over God Gamer. God Gamer trying to something going here. God Gamer tries to get a dribble. Frizz is there. Frizz tries to send it off the backboard. Frizz able to put the ball right in front of Motion's net as Davi able to get that pass for Frizz.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm reading the text chat here. It's looking like I'm not sure if we're gonna reset or not. It's looking like we're gonna reset. As Seuss, no, we're not gonna reset. Yes, we are gonna reset. Where everybody's leaving the match, we're gonna reset. I'm not sure if we're gonna start back at 2-2 or if we're just gonna redo the whole thing 0-0. The score was tied when the reset was being talked about. So I'm not sure. We're gonna try and get right back into this as quickly as possible, though.
We might have to get a management decision here to see if we will start back at the original time or just restart the game completely. But Earthquake though, even though the game didn't matter, we're unable to score on the 2-on-3 Psycho. So you're seeing Motion just trying to end the series in its tracks in Game 4 here.
Yeah, that was actually pretty impressive stuff, I do gotta say, coming from Motion there in the 2v3, not only holding their own defensively, playing like absolute maniacs, Michael and Godgamer, but on top of that, they were able to actually get quite a bit of offensive pressure generated. I think they almost scored on Earthquake, and right as Seuss came back and then just back from the dead and score a goal, like what?
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. All tactical, maybe Psycho, but that was definitely crazy. Your game's dying, your internet's dying, whatever the case may be. You finally come back and score is still going. You know, it's tied up still, and you just come back and get that nice clanger of a goal to put your team up 2-1. Couldn't have wrote it better any myself, Psycho.
Yeah, I don't disagree there, and I think we're still waiting on something to happen. I just tried to join back into the lobby, and I think I seen somebody score, so I'm not sure if Seuss is just running around in there by himself or not. But it looks like we're gonna be joining back up. Hopefully, we can get a reset on this. I believe that was game 4, right? Motion
Yeah,
was up too.
yeah, we were up in Game 4 here, and determining on when the reset did occur. We will find out the score of the match here, or even the timestamp. So we will see what will happen of that. As Suze is still in the lobby, we're unable to get anything here. But Earthquake, they need to do something because as we just seen, man oh man, if they can't score on a 2-on-3, they're not gonna be able to win the series here, Psycho.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I think it's a phenomenon that happens in Rocket League. I've seen it happen many times. I've been on both the giving and receiving end of being in a ranked match and your teammate leaves and now you're in a 2v3. I've been absolutely mollywomp before, but then I've had teammates that we just clicked and we played better without the third person and ended up clinching the dub. It's pretty amazing feeling, and it's a pretty terrible feeling to get beat by two people.
Absolutely. And this, I mean, even though that game doesn't necessarily count, but we'll find out. But that's a wake up call for Earthquake saying, hey, we have to change something because we can't beat two people. So they're definitely have to change something because if that was a 3-on-3 the whole time, I don't think it would end up the same way. I think Motion might have ran away with that game for.
That might be true, but also remember that that uh, the goal from Seuss, which was the tying goal, the goal that tied him up, was, I'm kind of suspect to a certain degree. Like I understand you have problems, internet problems, stuff like that. Well, I don't think he had internet problems because I was watching his ping, and I didn't see any issues with the ping. But if that was, done on purpose, that. when him just waking up and being there completely threw Earthquake off because he wasn't moving for at least a minute, if not a minute 30 seconds. So I don't know, maybe them having a 3v3 the whole time might have been in Earthquake's favor still.
Yeah, absolutely. It's could possibly still be in Earthquake's favor, as you did said. The goal did occur from a 3-on-3. Granted, the rotation may not been there, whatever the case may be, but hey, it did occur with the 3-on-3. But I do believe, Psycho, we have to reset the whole game because it occurred out of the last minute window. So we will have to restart this game 4. But as we're waiting for the players, motion. Hey, that was just phenomenal defense overall by just 2 of them, Psycho.
Yeah, that was really, really good stuff. Michael, I'm not familiar with him. I'm not sure if he's been in the league for a while or if he's new here, but God Gamer actually was one of the players that moved from novice last season up to challenger this season. So he completely skipped prospect. And honestly, I haven't seen him play in challenger much. And seeing Motion's record, I was thinking, it's probably a tough break for him. But seeing how he's performing here tonight, it's reminiscent of when I played against him in novice league, and I'm remembering some of the things that he did on the field, and I'm sure Earthquake has seen him up in the air and just been like, ah, crap, I need to get in front of this.
Yeah, not again. Oh no, we see a bird in the sky. But for novice players, we I think I mostly see novice players jump from novice to challenger a lot often than novice to prospect Psycho. That's just crazy to think. Because I honestly think that the novice, from beginning to end of the season, you see a skill difference. But every other league, you see a slight skill difference because everybody's starting to get chemistry with their team or whatnot. But I see novice as one of those leagues where you either click and jump very high or you kind of just get stuck there.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially being one of the guys who just kind of got stuck there.
Oops.
No, I mean it's true, sadly, but no, I completely agree with you. You see way more progress come out of the novice league, and that makes a lot of sense. One, because you get sandbaggers down there, and two, because you get people who are not decided whether or not they're serious about the game, which some of them join the league because of that, and then they just get into it and it makes them love the game even more. So they spend that much more time grinding mechanics, that much more time grinding competition, and you see the results of that.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think though, just novice players can just jump up 2 leagues though, because you're finally in a competitive scene. This isn't just you just queuing twos with your buddy, or just random solo queuing and threes. It definitely brings a different feel to the game because you're not thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna lose 9 MMR, right? Or hey, I'm gonna get 9, jump the champ 2 or whatever. And it just brings a whole different feel. And you don't realize it, but you do improve as a player overall, even in Nemesis, whether you believe it or not. Maybe you might be the slightest or a whole lot, but it's just so weird how you think of it as the improvement from everybody at the start of the season to end of the season, no matter what league you're in. I just feel like competition's there and everybody wants to just strive to be the best.
Yeah, I agree, and it's always fun to watch which players move where. Especially in the seasons where we don't change around the MMR boundaries and stuff, getting to see, because like you said earlier, like the higher up the ladder you get, the less players that make moves in between seasons. And so it's really nice to see somebody go from like challenger into rival and do really well, or likewise into rival and into Titan and do really well. And it's looking like we're having a bit of a change in the roster here. I see AAA 444 just joined into the lobby. I believe he's the sub on Motion, unless I'm thinking of the wrong person.
You are correct. Triple A is the sub for motion. Trying to step in here as Suze is having some technical issues, so we will see how that affects the game as well. So, man, now we have to figure out what will happen now with the management decision. As I don't think we have a decision yet, but we are waiting for one.
And we're also still waiting for Motion's third player. Seuss still in the lobby, AAA leaving the lobby, but Michael comes in. So I think all we're lacking is God Gamer or AAA to come back for Motion to be able to field three players. Um, but I thought that you said that we had to restart the whole game because it was out of the minute time frame.
That's what I believe, as I did see Sans in the Twitch chat type something about that, but I'm not 100% sure if that is exactly correct. But we will have to see what the official decision is, Psycho. But we see 10 people in our lobby now. We have, looks like Davi, Craig there for Earthquake, and then we see 4 players for Motionist. We see Triple A, we see Soys or Suze. But it's crazy to think now that we're just kind of just waiting here. But it completely kills the momentum. Maybe this gives a mental reset for Earthquake and saying, "Hey guys, yeah, we're down 2-1, but there's still time and there's still a chance."
Yeah, and I think we're trying to get the sub out of the lobby so that way God Gamer can get back into the lobby. Oh, or Alien. Looks like Alien's gonna go ahead and leave the lobby, which was Earthquake's sub player, I believe. Trying to make room. There we have it. God Gamer finally gonna get in here, and we can finally get back into game 4. And hopefully it's gonna be a good game 4. Oh, and we're gonna hold it up as we try and situate and figure out exactly what it is. Our streamer is gonna coordinate with management real quick to get a final ruling on what we need to do here, whether we need to restart the entire match or if we need to get it back to where it was when the reset was called.
Yeah, but as we go, let's take a look at the challenger bracket here. As we see in the first round here, we see Ascension's going to play the number 8 seed, so it could possibly be one of these two teams here. Then we see Dissolved, the number 4 seed, play against Snowstorm, the number 5 seed. And then on the other end of the bracket, we have Bishops versus the Tigers. Then we have Flame versus Papayas. A very stacked bracket indeed for Challenger Psycho. I can't wait until that starts up next week. But there is still one more spot available to find out for that 8th seed who's going to play Ascension there next week. But hey, like I said, it could be one of these two teams here, Psycho.
Well, it could very well be whichever team moves forward from here into the lower bracket final is going to have to face off against Venom on Saturday. Venom losing their game against Papayas last Monday. Papayas taking that 3-1, so pretty convincing, moving them into the game against Flame as you stated. But one of these teams moving on to go against Venom on Saturday, the winner of that will be moving into the 8th seed for the playoffs and face off in round 1 against Ascension, the number 1 seed, which that's I always I don't know about you, Dan, but I really dislike being in the last seed and having to go up against the first seed. I mean, I guess it's good if you're able to beat them. You know, you're pretty much shoo-in for the grand finals, but golly, what insurmountable odds they feel like.
Absolutely. But if you want to be the top dog in your league, you got to show you got to be one of them and also beat one of them. But that's also a statement, Psycho. If you're the 8th seed or even the ninth and 10th seed, as Motion and Earthquake are, if you do get the fill in 8th seed in the actual official playoff bracket and you beat Ascension, the number 1 seed, what does that tell with the other teams there in the bracket? Like, oh, wait, we have to double check this team because they might not be one of these play in teams. They just beat the top team. So that can definitely be a statement maker, in my opinion, Psycho, if you do end up winning.
Oh yeah, I mean, not just a statement maker. I would argue that it's the statement maker to make in a playoff scenario. Obviously, still having to fight off another 2 to 3 teams beyond that, but I mean, if you take out the team that is the best in the beginning, that everybody's either going to be worried about you and that's going to throw them off the game, or they're going to be maybe trying to overcompensate, thinking that you're a lot better than they originally anticipated. That can throw off their game. So there's a you know beating the top team like that is a very good thing, not only on the pitch but mentally. It's a good way to get inside of your opponent's heads.
Yeah, it's a mental warfare at that point, just to try to get in your opponent's head. I mean, not even on the pitch. That's crazy to think that you could already maybe get a slight edge because saying, "Hey, we beat the top team." Get that mental warfare going, make them overthink things, and possibly even make them overthink things for your opponent. So that can come into a big effect later down the line if you are beating that top seed and even possibly the top team.
Yeah, most definitely. And ladies and gentlemen, again, I'd like to apologize. Just bear with us if you can. We are trying to get this figured out as quickly as possible, waiting for somebody from management to get back with us so that way we don't move forward and do something against the rules. Our streamer just trying to figure out everything, doing everything that he can. So bear with us as we try and get things going. We do have all players in the lobby, so we are ready to go. As soon as we get the go ahead from a management member, we will move forward with this.
Yeah, and we can even start talking about some other teams around the league here. Starting with the novice, we have the Pawns able to beat the Whelps tonight 3-1 and able to move on to the play-in bracket, eliminating the Whelps from the playoffs here as the first novice team to be eliminated from the actual play-in tournament. Going against Aurora on Saturday, that'll be a good one to see. And then the winner of that will have to take on the number one team, Frost. And like you said, nobody wants to play against the number one team, but if you do beat the number one team, that'll be a statement. That would be the statement. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, that's completely right. Oh, it looks like
Oh,
we've got a joined by a Mr. Rocker Man himself. What's up, man?
yes. Hello. I was finishing up that other matchup that was going to be recorded for off stream, and now I am actually on the stream. So just want to clarify a couple of things here. Chimuk, I need to invite to the lobby, by the way. But we're just reviewing the game, making sure we got the right thing going on here. So we're gonna be resetting this game to 2-2 with 135 remaining, just so everyone's aware, and that'll be happening in a second. In a second here, so everyone just hang tight. I know everyone's been hanging around. You guys are getting a little stall in action like we did. Actually, we need someone to leave the lobby. I want to make sure I can reset this. I don't know if there's a sub in the lobby or something.
Triple A
They
left.
they
You're
just
getting
left.
open.
They just left.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. But yeah, I've done. Me and Magic Pepperoni, we did about 25 minutes worth of stalling in that matchup. I'm not even gonna actually lie to you guys. It was actually 25 minutes, and and in that one, yeah, unfortunately there had to be a forfeit. But we had some extra practice, so now it's your guys' turn to get some extra stalling practice. So
No, we're not looking for practice. We're going for the record, Roger, man. We're going for the
Yeah,
record.
we've been stalling
okay.
a minute.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, while you do that, I'm going to sort out this lobby and get us set up at 2-2-135 remaining.
All
Two
right,
two one
folks.
thirty five.
It
Folks, you
seems
heard
like
it.
the player in right now, Sos, is actually AFK. So with the full lobby with Austin in, it's gonna be difficult because A444 is actually the one playing.
All right.
Oh.
Remake the lobby then. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
All right, more technical difficulties.
All right. Let's go for the record. Woohoo! All right, but
Yeah.
anyways, back to Nemesis talk. While we figure that out, we already went to the novice league, and maybe it's this time to go to the prospect league. As we seen the other night, Origin able to topple the Bandits in 4, able to win 3-1. And we will be awaiting the Warhawks Velocity game to see who will be taking on the Bandits on Saturday night and possibly taking the 8th seed to go play against Hypernova in the first round. The other first rounders in Prospect are Wyverns versus Barbarians, 4th and 5th seeds. That will be an interesting one to see, especially because you've seen Barbarians for the most part of the season, top of their division and top of Prospect, but unable to win their division as Flurry
Oh my
takes the
goodness.
sweep in that last series game on stream. Speaking of Flurry, we have Flurry taking on Ember, and also rounding out the first round for Prospect, we have Vipers taking on Origin. That's a very stacked Prospect league. Whew.
Yeah, my
Psycho.
apologies. I hit spacebar. I'm sorry. I did not mean to join that. I hit spacebar. I'm sorry.
You can join back. You can join back. Quick.
Okay.
The lobby will have to go anyways. So here I'm just gonna. So
All the scuffness.
Oh man. Ultra scuffed, huh?
It's a tough one sometimes.
Yeah, but as we will now wait until the correct time is on the clock, Psycho. It's crazy to think how this play-in definitely does affect seeding overall. So, I mean, it's new this season, and it's crazy how this play-in really does affect everything.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You can even the first through fourth seeds, you can sort of see, hey, I'm confident we did a good job. We're here, we're at the top, and then like we saw with Pawns earlier, these guys just come out of the hit the gate or hit the ground running, come out of the gates firing, and have a run at the playoffs that nobody was anticipating and just take the whole thing by storm. Or, maybe they get, into the playoffs and get shut down by the first seed straight out the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't matter honestly what seed you're, Psycho. Like you said earlier, way earlier, you're in the play-in and the playoffs. You got a chance for that championship. So, hey, anything is possible. um, wow, that's just remarkable though how these play-ins just set the pace for everybody else in the playoffs. Some of these play-in games definitely felt like even the semifinals for the actual playoff game, but we're just getting started. It's just craziness.
Yeah, we are just getting started, and just as quickly as we're getting started in these plans, we're going to be wrapping these plans up. Saturday, we've got another 4 matches for you, which is pretty much going to wrap up the play-ins, and we'll be starting the playoff tournaments next Monday, and they'll run through, I believe, next week. They might be a week and a half. I'd have to check the schedule, but we've been grinding up to this all season long for the last 8 weeks. We're ready to be here. We're finally happy we're here, and I don't know about you, Dan, but I'm super excited to see which teams are able to walk away with the chips this season.
Yeah, it's always fun to see who will end up with the chip, be the top of the mountain of your division. And then in the off season, we're gonna have to see who's gonna be moving up, who's gonna be, staying in their same division, who's gonna be re-signing, or who's even gonna be in the free agent pool. That's the fun about in the draft league, because you just never know with people. Excuse me, especially you know just to see what will happen, because they might want to run it back. Because we see in Origin, for example, this season they brought back two of their championship players from last season, but they ended up as the 7th seed. But that's crazy just to think that, even if you have the champion or even most of your championship roster, you still might be the top dog.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, that's one of the things about the playoffs is everything can turn around quite quickly, and seemingly in the blink of an eye, you can go from, you know, being on top to being on bottom, once with the way we run our playoffs, you only get one shot at it, and once you're done, you're done. You go home and No grand finals for you. No championship. No bragging rights. No Discord roll. No money. No
No
money.
money. No money. Yeah, money is definitely a perk for winning. I don't think necessarily people are always doing it for the money. It's probably a big reason, don't get me wrong, but I think mostly people are just competitive and they want to say, "Hey, I just beat you, you, and also you." And saying, I got the Discord role to prove it, as you said. But wow. But looking back at the season, it's like we've had a lot of ups and downs. Some teams only winning 7 games, and some teams mostly winning their games. It's just that's just the fun of competitive Rocket League and Nemesis.
That is, in fact, just the fun. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised. Nobody, none of the teams having a perfect run this season, as I think, I feel like Hydra had a perfect season last season, but could be wrong. Feel
Yeah,
like they might have.
I think it was the Drakes 2 seasons ago.
Okay,
All right,
Drake
you
two
get you
seasons
guys you
ago.
guys are on now. It's 2-2-135.
Oh,
All
here we
right.
go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with some Nemesis action. 2-2, 135 to go in Game 4. Just to remind everybody, Motion is up 2-1 here in the series. Earthquake trying to climb back and trying to get that reverse sweep. But as we've seen a big mental reset occur, let's see how that affects the players overall, because maybe you've gotten cold at that time. Speaking of cold, ice cold, he got ice in his veins. Craig able to capitalize on the pass by Frizz and able to put Earthquake up.
Yeah, this whole reset thing might have spelled disaster for Motion, even though they still do have the advantage. That's not how you want to start coming, not how you want to come back off of a small break.
Yeah, this break definitely going to set the pace for the rest of the series, as players could have gotten cold in this time. Mental mindset could also occur in this time. And we're not starting from 5 minutes here, Psycho. We're starting from a minute 35 here in this game. Wow, just crazy to think.
Yeah, Motion doesn't have a lot of time left on the clock to get this goal, and an Earthquake is playing like they want it real bad right now.
Yeah, as we get back here, 40 seconds left to go. Motion trying to get the ball out of their zone. The ball heading towards the midfield. Michael able to get it past Craig. Michael sending it to Earthquake backboard, unable to get another touch. Godgamer sending it on Earthquake net. We see a double commit there by Frizz and Craig. Let's see if it will bite him in the butt, as Michael tries to get a touch. Frizz sends it to Motion Stone. 18 seconds ago, Earthquake unable to get a second goal to try to do something here. Frizz has no boost. Last one back here. Earthquake just trying to burn time here. Frizz on the ball, looking for a 50. He gets a 50. The ball sends all the way back to the backboard of Motion. And Earthquake, after that long break, takes Game 4. And now we get to see a fabulous ping in our Discord, getting a Game 5 alert.
And that is what everybody is probably like, that's what I better see after that long of a break, after having to sit here and listen to you guys talk about it and not play it. I want to see a Game 5. I don't know about you, Dan, but I'm super happy it turned out this way.
I am super happy as well. The script, maybe this was all part of the long script. I don't know who wrote it, but we're going to a Game 5 possible reverse sweep. But mental warfare, like we were talking about here, Psycho, it could have set a toll on Motion, especially, giving up that early goal here, quote unquote early goal in this Game 4 and dropping this game.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how both teams behave moving here into Game 5. Earthquake, obviously, coming with the force right there and able to pull out that win, send us into the Game 5 here. But if I know anything about Motion, they're about to turn up the heat real quick. Even though they lost Seuss, we're gonna see if AAA is able to fill those shoes.
Yeah, we will see if AAA comes in and tries to change the pace here for Motion, as we are at a do or die game for both teams coming in here to Game 5. Everything's on the line here as we get underway. Michael trying to get it past Craig, but Craig able to get it past to Davi in the midfield. Davi sends it back down to Triple Way. Triple Way takes it off the wall. He gets a touch. Down to God Gamer. God Gamer's unable to get a touch. And the ball is heading towards Earthquake's net, but Frizz is able to block it away. Triple Way trying to get a touch as we see a double whiff there come out from both members of each team. And the ball is still in Earthquake zone as God Gamer sends it down to try to pass it to Michael, but nothing comes from it. Triple A with the whiff. We see a 2-on-1. Frizz able to flick it past one. Frizz also trying to get it past Michael again, but nothing will come from it. Davi, he's up trying to get a ground pinch, but Triple A wants none of that as he sends it towards Earthquake zone. Now, Psycho, do you see any difference from coming back here from that long break from either team?
Yeah, I'm seeing big differences from both teams. Unfortunately, Craig almost able to get that in there, but I'm seeing a difference on both teams. It's looking like both teams are playing much more timid than they have pretty much this entire series. But, you know, because I don't know, it just feels different so far.
As we see almost a shot coming out here from Ocean, but I can't agree with you. It feels like they are definitely taking a step back, trying to read their opponents once again, and to see who will strike first here in Game 5. This first goal, will be very crucial and set the pace as we trip away, trying to get another touch here, but is unable to. God Gamer sending it down. Craig gets a nice 50. Craig trying to get another 50. Trip away, trying to clear it away, but is unable to. As Earthquake trying to keep up this pressure, trying to start in the suffocate motion, getting the snake-like attack. Try to get around it and strangle. Frizz gets a nice touch there downfield. God Gamer's able to get it and flick it over him. Craig sends it to the backboard. Does he have enough boost to get the double? He does not, but Michael slaps it away anyways. Frizz sends it on to Motion's backboard. God Gamer gets a nice booming clear, and Craig able to read it down. We see a demo come out from Triple A. See if that comes anything. Michael's there with a nice shot. Actually, it turns out to be a great pass. God Gamer is there to get the first goal of Game 5.
And that's exactly what I was anticipating from Motion. Michael and God Gamer, you can tell through this whole series they've been connecting really well. They've been reading each other and making plays happen. So pretty much Triple A, all he has to do is play patient and be in the position he needs to be in, and his teammates will carry this win.
Yeah, but we always want to see a team effort. Earthquake trying to find an answer quickly to try to stop the bleeding much as possible. But we see a little bit of a miscue there. Triple A's on the ball. Tries to center it. He gets a nice 50. Pops it in the midfield for God Gamer. Craig is there to get the 50. But we see a dunk come out of Michael. Motion starting to run away with this Game 5.
Really good pressure there from Michael, able to get to that ball. Gets a little bit lucky with the second bounce that goes underneath Frizz, but nobody else from Earthquake back to make an attempt to save that ball. Motion now up by 2 and looking at running away with this series.
As we've seen Davi trying to get a fake out. I think he does fake out one, almost fakes it out two, but able to get in front of the way. God Gamer trying to fake out the defender. He actually waits long enough for him to jump and just whiff completely. But if you're Earthquake, you gotta start doing something with only a minute 25 to go. Craig trying to send it down here. God Gamer keeping the pressure for Motion. Frizz unable to get a touch. Craig gets it past Michael. Craig gets a demo. We see demos coming out of Earthquake, but nothing comes from it. As we're a minute 10 here to go here, Psycho. It's do or die.
It is definitely do or die, and it seems like Earthquake is dying. They have to figure out something quickly. Under a minute left now, and they're running out of options as Michael scores a third goal for Motion, all but sealing the deal on this match.
That could have been the dagger. It's very hard to get 3 goals in less than a minute. It is possible, but the task is very, very difficult. Earthquake needs to find an answer very quickly in order to give themselves a nice chance here. The ball is just floating basically right in front of their net. Frizz tries to pass it down to Davi. Davi isn't able to get a touch. And Earthquake on the offensive end. Craig gets 50 by triple A. Frizz sends it on net, but Michael is able to get the save. Motion just needs to boom the ball a couple times and it will take this game here with only 30 seconds to go. And we see the ball starting to head back to Motion's territory, but we see Michael gets a nice 50, almost going into Earthquake's net, sealing the deal for sure. As we see Michael, the demo man, comes out and gets 2 demos. But Psycho, it's looking like to me, Motion are setting things in motion for more time in these play-ins.
Yeah, I would say even if Earthquake manages to get a goal for the road here, they're still going to end up taking the L. As we see the last second tick away, Motion's going to be your winner. Motion's going to be the team that moves on to the lower bracket finals to be played on Saturday.
Yeah, we will see Motion Saturday. And unfortunate for Earthquake, they get the reverse sweep. A little bit too hard of a task for them, especially after the long break we've had. And I don't know about you, Psycho, but I think people were tired of hearing our voices.
Yeah, I'm pretty much tired of hearing my voice as well.
But very good series we had there. At least gameplay wise. The time wise, we had a couple issues, but Motion able to take the series in 5. But that wraps us up for today for the 9th and 10th seed play-ins. But stay tuned for Saturday as we see the last of the rival through novice gameplay. So we see the championship quote-unquote game to see who will be taking the 8th seed in their respective leagues and who will be sending them home. But Psycho, thank you for joining me in the booth for as long as you did tonight.
And thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be here. Always love bringing Rocket League action to everybody's homes and everybody's faces. And I have just as much fun being here as I hope you have watching me.
And before we leave, make sure you guys check out all of our socials. You know, make sure you give it a nice follow, whatever the case may be, on the respective platforms. And if you're new around here, maybe join our league. You know, granted, you're not going to be able to get on a roster at this point, but there's always next season, and the grind continues. I'm Dan in the booth with Psycho, and we'll catch you guys next time.